Hi, this is James Zhang with Old Capital, and I've got Jakob Andersen with Newmark here today with me to talk about a new deal. How's it going, Jacob?
Good, James, and good morning to you. And thank you for having me again on this podcast.
Oh yeah, of course. So Jacob, maybe to kick it off, give people a little bit of your background, and then maybe a little bit state of the market of what you're seeing out there. Um, Obviously, you guys do a lot of tours and sell a lot of deals. So
Absolutely. So, quick background: Jakob Andersen. I am with a six-person team here in Dallas for Newmark. We do about statewide for Newmark about $9 billion here in 21, and we are continuing to see a lot of activity in Texas and in DFW.
all right. So when people come in, I mean, we see people coming in from all over the place. But what would you say, sort of Q1, 2022? What is Jacob Anderson's state of the market right now in a couple minutes here?
It is definitely not bad. It is very good. We are continue to see high liquidity, and that goes on the debt side and it goes on the equity side. People, they love the Sunbelt. We're seeing a lot of equity coming out of the coasts. We're seeing some foreign money coming in to the U.S., and they all want to be in these states such as Texas and in a city like DFW that's got great infrastructure. It's still relative affordable in comparison to a lot of other places in the nation. We do not have rent restriction, this is a good market where we have a lot of players currently.
All right, so we're going to jump into this deal that you have out called Bay Island, 120 units. Sort of sits on the east northeast side of the Metroplex, and maybe talk about sort of where this deal sits off of 30 and sort of the surrounding area.
Sure. So Bay Island sits out on a little peninsula out to the Lake Ray Hubbard. You walk right out the door and you're down at the lake in less than a minute here. This location historically used to be more of the outskirts of Dallas, but the way the city has grown, and right now they are expanding 30 and 635 on the west side of Bay Island, to increase the capacity. But we have seen so much development. If you jump right over the lake to Rockwall and Rowlett, where they are building hotels, new multifamily, retail. And then I think what's very important here is the construction of President George Bush Turnpike that basically takes you, and it dead ends right into Bay Island, and it will take you to North Dallas and the municipalities up there, such as Plano and Richardson, within 15 to 20 minutes. So the amount of employment locations you are close to here at this location has really grown over the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up in Frisco, and it might take me 25-30 minutes to get to the airport, or 25-30 minutes to Bay Island. Whereas before, instead of taking George Bush, you had to go maybe 635 and then come up 30. And so that's opened up that whole area. And then especially around sort of North Garland, Richardson, that whole George Bush area, whether it's I'm blanking on the name. There's like a mixed use center up there, Firewheel. And
you have Firewheel,
yeah,
you have
yeah.
City Line, where State Farm came in and put their new headquarters, and suddenly there was two locations you wouldn't combine in the past. But with George Bush, the eastern side of George Bush, it is 15 to 20 minutes away.
So you're probably 15-20 minutes away from sort of Richardson, Plano area, or if you need to get down to Dallas, you hop on 30 and come straight down. So
that's correct.
Okay. All right. So let's get into this deal more specifically. So 96% occupied, 1972 build. So this is the leasing office inside. Looks like they've done a great job sort of updating the leasing office to sort of a modern feel. So let's go to an aerial, maybe talk about just sort of the bones of the deal. And 120 units is a good size, and sort of how they manage this deal right now.
Absolutely. The deal is 120 units. It's relative large units with an average of 870 plus square feet. And one of the bigger units out there, that those are the ones that are, when I talk to the manager, that is hard to come by. They lease extremely fast. Then in the middle, you have a combination between pitched and flat roofs. The roofs are about 7 to 9 years old. The flat parts, it is a TPO product, which is great for flat roofs. The current owner managed this deal, takes great pride of owning this deal, and had recently painted the exterior. What's also important is built in 72, it had some outdated breaker boxes, the electrical breaker boxes. He went through the property and replaced all of them to kind of bring it more up to what we see in newer construction.
And then some of this, did they do anything with the balconies or patios? I see some updated patios here, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay.
So they do have some of them are the same square footage. Some of them has been expanded, but he has modernized the front of the buildings with wood patios. Okay.
And then, so what we're looking at here on this interior sort of finish, is this sort of standard, or is this classic, upgraded? What are we looking at in terms of interiors right now? It looks like vinyl plank flooring, maybe some black appliances, maybe some handle pulls.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. This deal here, most of them's got black appliances, and what you see here, I would say, is a very good representation of the property. I wouldn't call it in 2022 that these deals have been, or these units have been upgraded from what we see in the market. I think I would characterize the owner's objective to be keeping them very nice and clean. And obviously it works well for what it is. And he's getting good rents.
Okay, so I pulled up the unit mix and started jumping around here, but unit mix is about 60% 2s and 3s, 40% 1s in efficiency. And then just sort of talk through sort of where the current rents are today and where market you think is on the deal right now.
Sure. So when you're looking at the average in place versus the market rents that are shown here of an average of 1217, you're sitting in about 1,050, 1,075 average effective rents. Those are continuing to go up when the leases are expiring, and right now it is a highly occupied unit. They have a B4 unit, the 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Right at 14 market.
All right. You broke up for a little bit. Say the piece again on the 2-bed, 2-bath.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you broke up a little bit there. What's the piece about the 2-bed, 2-bath again?
So the the B4 unit that is currently vacant, the new lease that has been secured for that specific unit is at 1490, which is market. So when you go through the whole rent roll, the effective rents are closer to 1,050 to 1,075, but new leases are being signed at market, which would average out about 1217.
Okay. All right. So let's go into a little bit of the comps. I think so Bay Island sort of sits right here, like we said. What do you think are some of the best comps? I mean, there's two that sit right next to it, so maybe talk about those two.
Absolutely. So we do sit on a peninsula. There's a little cluster of deals, and we try to include the ones that are sitting with close proximity. The one that I would probably highlight here is Tides at Lake Village, and that is number 5 on the list. The reason being is it sits adjacent to the property. Now, this property has been taken over about 6 months ago, and the current owner is going through renovations, exterior and interior. On the exterior, they have been painting all the buildings. They're in the process of putting a new roof on, which looks great. On the interior, we are seeing kind of the next level of upgrades. And if you look down at the pictures below here, they will go in and they will retile the fireplaces. They will put quartz and undermount sinks and stainless steel appliances in. They will put new cabinet fronts or new cabinet boxes in where it's needed. So really produce what I would call more the 2022 upgraded unit.
Okay. And then, yeah, so here's some pictures down below. Sort of, this was the classic unit at the Lake Village deal. And now these are the upgrades with the flooring and the sort of one level countertop and stainless. And then these are some of the prices. So it looks like, you know, they're getting anywhere from maybe 1,000 to 1,200 on the ones, and then anywhere from 14 to 1,500 on the twos. So in line sort of with the market rents you had outlined here. So on the Bay Island stuff, what do you think it's going to take to really achieve those rents and sort of compete with that neighboring property?
I think what we're looking at now, the future owners of Bay Island will have the luxury of having a proven model right next door. So what we have done in our value add proposal is basically mimicking an execution like that. We estimated to cost between $7,000 and $7,500 to implement, and you should get around that $150 on average for that implementation.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, stainless, some flooring, backsplash, maybe some cabinet fronts. So about 900,000 in interior upgrades. I want to flip back to this chart because I missed it. Anything here in terms of, you know, sort of the exterior of the building, anything that people should know? Looks like individual HVAC and then a boiler is sort of the property features. Anything else on here?
That is correct. So all individuals HVAC units, again, the owner's way of managing it, he has been very good at taking care of any deferred maintenance. So it's a clean deal. It's got two boilers associated with it. They're located in two separate buildings. Those buildings are actually two-story buildings with lots of additional room. Since we have gone through COVID, not much has been done there. It's got put on pause, but there is the opportunity of turning those two buildings into two additional rentable units.
Okay. And then it looks like they're rubbing back for sort of electric, water, gas, trash, pest. Are they doing like covered parking or reserve parking, anything like that on the other income side?
They do have reserved parking on the property. They do not have any covered. And with our Texas weather, that is something we see done on a lot of these deals. And I do think a property like Bay Island would be a very good candidate to add covered parking for getting additional other income.
Okay. So I flipped over to the pro forma. Anything here? So we've got the sort of interior upgrade budget or increase here for the rents. Anything else on the pro forma people should be aware of in terms of whether they're looking at the T12 or the rent roll?
You know, I would tell you that this deal, sometimes we've seen coming out of COVID, certain line items jumping a little bit more than other deals. This here is very steady. When you look through the T12, the income is coming up in a steady pace, and it's really not jumping. So this is a deal where you're coming in for where we sit right now with our Whisper. You're going in at a very, very healthy cap. And that will obviously help secure Right
there, Jacob?
Yep.
Okay, sorry
I'm
about
here.
that. All right. Yeah, so let's jump over. So when you're looking at the deal, what's the whisper price on this deal again?
So the whisper price we have is 19 million for Bay Island, which comes out to about 158 a door.
Okay, 158 a door. All right, perfect. So yeah, we looked at this deal a couple different ways, starting, sort of normal Fannie Freddie. But with the rents the way they are, you're probably going to get to about 10 and a half to 11 million on Fannie and Freddie. And so most people on this deal, I would say, probably going to be closer to the 75 on a bridge. And so that would be about 14.2. And then, your rehab budget, depending on how many units you want to do, I think we plugged in 600,000 here. But if you want to do all the units, go up to 900,000. And then anything on the exterior that you think would help the property or amenity wise, Jacob?
Yeah, so it's overall a fairly low density property. It's got a great pool area, and it's got a little bit of the grilling area between some of the other buildings. The property actually owns a piece of vacant land down towards the lake, which is undeveloped currently.
Is it this piece or no?
It is actually on the other side, and it is a little hard to see, but it's all the way up in the corner.
Okay.
Up in the left-hand corner.
Okay.
Over
here.
Yeah,
okay.
That's where it is. And I think a property like that, it is about what is your natural amenities, and to put in maybe a shed for bikes, put in, where people can have their fishing rods and whatnot. I think something like that will tie it into the lake, which is absolutely, a huge amenity for a community like this. That would be a very good addition.
All right, perfect. So we've got, Fannie Freddie, and then most people right now probably be in the 75 bridge, 75% loan to cost bridge bucket. We're seeing anywhere from maybe 375 to 4 on the spread. If you're a little bit stronger guarantor, maybe 3.5 on the spread to SOFR on most of these deals. And this is a good size loan, so there'll be plenty of lenders who would be interested in a deal of this size. So have you guys, I know this deal just rolled out, but have you set a call for offers date or anything like that?
We have not set the actual date yet, but it should be coming out here shortly. We are aiming to probably be 3 to 4 weeks out. This deal hit the market towards the end of last week, and typically we'll have them out for about a month.
All right, perfect. Any other final thoughts to close this one out, Jacob?
Yeah, I think it's very straightforward. It's not a property where you're going out and I think you would be disappointed of seeing it in person versus just hearing about it on a podcast like this or looking at the OM. It's clean, it's well maintained, and I do think by going to the property, you will see how this could be a special asset for someone due to the proximity to the lake and all the stuff that's going around it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jacob, for coming on, and we'll see you out there on the tour.
Very welcome.
All right.
Take care.
All right, bye.